Welcome, kings and queens, to another episode of Unapologetic, your number one podcast. This is the show where kings and queens tell their legacies and on. So get ready for the gems to drop and pull up to the table because we're ready. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, on another episode of Unapologetic, your number one podcast. It's your favorite host, Mel in the building, aka Mr. Unapologetic. We're here today on this beautiful Sunday. We got a brother sitting in front of us right now. Please welcome T.D. Smith of S.A.G Law. How you doing, King?
I'm well, sir. Thank you for having me.
So, man, I know it's been a while since we've been trying to get in connect. You know, you've been busy. Congratulations on the new launch of the marketing. You know, I seen that on the internet. Congratulations.
Thank you.
But for you to be as big as you are, as I see you, and because, man, you're everywhere, man. I mean, you have accomplished a lot and you're still young. You still got a lot of years ahead of you. And to start off as, you know, going to school, you know, everybody got to do the bar test, right? The bar, right. Whatever it is. Where did you go for that?
Well, first, let me start by saying I really appreciate you for saying that. You know, it's sometimes I don't see how other people see me, and it's humbling to hear that kind of feedback. So I really appreciate that.
You're welcome.
To jump in, how do we get to this point? You know, it was a very long journey. You know, outside of your core, you know, high school, you then have to go through undergrad, and then there's sometimes 4.5 years of undergrad studies. And then what some people don't know is you have to take and pass an admissions test to get into law school. So you just can't say, oh, I want to go to law school and just go and apply.
Nope.
You know, some people took the SAT, the ACT for undergrad. I mean, to get into undergrad, but for law school, you have to take the LSAT, the law school admissions test. And that is a very difficult test to pass as well before you can even start the process of law school. So, yeah.
So that's three tests, right?
Well, technically so. Yeah. You take the LSAT to get into law school, your final exams to finish law school. Right. And then there's another test before the bar called the MPRE. And so you have to take that and pass, and then you sit for the bar exam. And hopefully you pass it the first time. Some people make it the second time, like myself.
Oh, man, just making it period is too much for me. That's just, God, man, I applaud. That's an applaud. Congratulations.
Thank you.
But I want to go back because how do you pronounce your name? What does TD stands for one?
That's a great question because people ask me it all the time. Yeah, so my first name is actually T, and my middle initial is Dan. So I just abbreviate it as the D. And I oftentimes get asked, oh, well, why did your mama name you T?
Right.
T? I said, well, actually, my dad named me T. Most people from our hometown, Muskegon Heights, they know that my father was Danny Smith, the former principal of Heights High. Really? And And so the story behind how I got my name was what people don't know. My dad originally went to college to become an attorney. He was a political science major. While he was in undergrad, he met a professor by the name of T. Dan Gilmore. And that guy mentored him and inspired him to change his major from political science into education. And so he went into education, and he told Professor Gilmore, if I ever have a son, I'm going to name him after you. And so that's how I got my name, T. Dan.
Wow. So he was a big influence on your
major influence.
Man, that's dope. I like that. Man, so after you was named this T.D. Smith, what did you do before, like, who is T.D.? you know, how was you before becoming this professional law student and business owner and all this that came with it afterwards?
You know, that's another great question. So man, I got to give it to you, man. You coming with the fire today, man. These are great questions.
I appreciate it.
And I want to be as transparent as possible because I think in today's society, a lot of individuals see people like me or people bigger than me, and they think, oh, well, those people didn't have, their upbringing wasn't real, or they kind of just fell into success. And I want to really share and open up. What a lot of people don't know about me is I struggled with making friends. I struggled with reading. I have a learning disability. I was considered illiterate until probably 7th or 8th grade of middle school, until a teacher at Muskegon Heights Middle School took the time to literally walk with me to learn how to read and pronunciate words correctly. So growing up was was very difficult for me.
That's hard to believe. I mean, that's hard to believe that, especially from a person with your type of mentality.
Sure.
You just come off so strong and so understanding of what you want and how you want to say it.
Right.
Now hearing that, it's like, man, you worked hard.
Yeah, I did. And I hope that me being transparent and showing individuals this side of me, that inspires someone that may struggle with learning disabilities or may not have a lot of confidence as a young person, that you can turn that around, that each decision that you make to pursue greatness really is a choice in the right direction, and it can be made.
Right. No excuses, right?
Exactly.
No excuses. I'll bet. So how was out of school for you? Were you like, since you was not as popular, what did you cling to get you into this direction of how you live today?
Yeah, so I have older parents. I think most people know that. And so I grew up listening to old school funk and old school jazz and R&B.
You talk about Marvin Gaye, Luther
Exactly. Marvin Gaye, Earth, Wind and Fire, the Parliaments, those guys, Right. Okay. And so that really opened me up to music. I'm a musician. I play 5 instruments. I went to college on a full ride music scholarship. And so when I was a young person.
How about?
Sure.
5 instruments?
Yes.
Jesus. Okay, continue. I had to get that clarity one more time. Wow.
Yeah. So
how did that
I grew up and I cling to music. And naturally, I was raised in the Church of God in Christ. So that was an outlet as well, being able to play at my local church. And I also played at Holy Trinity Church of God in Christ with the late Bishop Wells. And I was able to perform with his ministry all over the country. And that really exposed me to a lot of different musicians. And it really solidified that I really wanted to pursue music. And that's kind of how it led into the law that I practice. Is not only do I practice business law and litigation, but I initially wanted to be an entertainment attorney.
So those times for actors or rappers, all them type of individuals just come to you like, hey, I need you, coach. Like, come on.
Exactly. Yeah.
I need you right now.
I did a nice amount of entertainment law when I was in New York. I think we'll probably get to that. And so that was...
Yeah, keep going.
That's what I did. I represented artists, athletes, review contracts, negotiate deals, endorsement deals, build out their businesses, protect their assets. Yeah.
So what are the... hold on, you're a lawyer. I gotta...
Right.
What are some of the clients that you are able to say that you were like big stars?
I wish I could. I wish I could say. But unfortunately, attorney-client confidentiality.
He ain't budging.
Right. I can't. Yeah.
Oh man, but that's awesome, man. To hear that you had that type of experience, especially in New York. New York, man, everybody called that the concrete jungle. For a reason.
Yeah.
So for you to make it in New York, man, Manhattan, to be specific, correct?
Correct.
That's a big accomplishment. Speaking of New York, you were also, hold on, let me I want to be accurate on
Sure.
this law firm. So you were the chief of litigation and director of operation for the Manhattan law firm, correct?
Yes, I was deputy chief of litigation
Deputy.
and director of operations for the firm that I previously worked at, which was Johnson Associates, and that was the first law firm that was where I started my career. Started my career in the New Jersey office because I'm licensed in the state of New Jersey to practice law, and from there
Hey,
we.
I need you on the team.
I'm already there, man. I'm already there. And so from starting in New Jersey, I really showed leadership, I guess, that the partner wanted to see. And so then he made me the deputy chief of litigation and director of operations for the Manhattan office, which we had. And so that was my thing. I had to oversee attorneys, oversaw our paralegal and support staff, close client deals, had to manage client relationships. Wow. So it was really a great amount of experience that I was able to learn in that position, which led over to me starting Smith Attorneys Group, S.A.G Law.
So that's how okay, now it's getting, okay, I've connected the dots as you go. Was that one of your biggest accomplishments by far to start for your beginning of your career?
Yes, I'm glad you cleared that up, because what I was going to say, my biggest accomplishment thus far is being married to the love of my life. That hands down. And if I don't say it like that, I'm gonna be in trouble. So
I respect.
Definitely my largest accomplishment. But in my career, I think that working at Johnson Associates was definitely the foundational piece of me being able to build S.A.G Law and to have gained the experience in complex litigation. Because I mean, like you mentioned, everyone knows if you can make it in New York, you can pretty much make it anywhere in the world.
Yeah.
And it really is a dog eat dog kind of environment. And those attorneys in New York, they didn't show you any grace. You're a young lawyer. If you come in here, you don't know what you're talking about. Right. You just get ate up. You just lose.
So how old were you at this time of being handed this deputy position?
I was 27, going on 28.
You were only 27 years old? Yeah. Wow. Oh man, you a beast.
I appreciate it, man.
You a beast, man. That to like you said, to fight in the realm of the concrete jungle, because I know there are other lawyers who had more experience.
Oh, absolutely.
More education,
absolutely.
more of a push for recommendations.
Right.
But you yourself has fought and strived to become the top dog. Well, one of the top dogs on the platter. So man, that's big, man. I keep it unapologetic. You got to give yourself a hand on that one.
I appreciate it. I humbly appreciate it.
Really. So take us now to the future of S.A.G Law. You started S.A.G Law after you left the Johnson firm, correct?
Correct.
And you started it where?
So we started in Chicago. In 2019 is when, at the time, my girlfriend, who was now my wife, Katila Smith, she had got a great opportunity for her career. And I don't know, you may not know that we not discussed it, but my wife is also an attorney. So she is a tax attorney with a specialization in employee benefits, mergers, acquisition.
I mean, the whole family on the team, D.
Right. You're right. So as I like to tell people, she's the real lawyer.
Man, so, I can imagine, because finances is something else.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah, when she gets to talking tax or business law at the mergers and acquisition level, it's over my head. So over my head. Man. So she got her dream job here in Chicago.
Okay.
And at the time, I was still in New York. I said, listen, if that's your dream, I will move to Chicago.
Mm.
And that's what I did. I moved to Chicago, and in my mind, I said, oh, well, it's not going to be a problem. I have this extensive resume that I've built here in the New York and New Jersey area. I said, firms are going to die to get me on board. And every firm I applied to, every firm denied.
Really?
Nobody bit. Nobody was. One of the things that they said was they don't hire students that graduated from our law school. And so that's the thing. That's the thing.
That's okay. So what's the point of going to school?
Well, some firms prefer to have your Harvard grads, your NYUs, your University of Michigans, here in Chicago, your Northwesterns. And they affiliate the prestige of the university to mean that the attorney is going to be better. Well, news is I beat a lot of Harvard attorneys. I beat a lot of Columbia attorneys.
Tell it like it is.
That's the truth. That's the truth of it. But so no firm wanted to take me on.
Right.
And so I had to make a decision, am I either gonna leave Chicago and go back to New York and try to pick up, or rebuild from here? And the decision was made to rebuild, and that's how S.A.G Law got its founding roots.
Are you writing a book?
I'm not, but I might.
I think I'm gonna push that in your future. You need to write.
You know what? I appreciate that. And make sure I'm gonna give you some writer's credits too.
I appreciate that. I'll put my face on the back of the book if you want me to. I'll put it, man. So, all right, I'm getting off looks, man. You make this feel like a woo, man. I'm learning so much. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, I want to also say to my viewers, this is just for the interview. This is not a way to give you any law or any type of advice. We are not doing that. This is a conversation for you to learn from one of the top tier professionals in their own world. That's it. I had to get that out, T. I had to get that out.
I appreciate it.
But fast forward onto the Chicago, you started getting all these downs and downs and downs. Clearly you wasn't feeling discouraged. So what made you say, or who helped you, as I should say, build this law firm?
Sure. And I do want to correct one thing. I 100% felt discouraged. I 100% felt defeated in the sense that, I had this amazing career in New York. I really don't like to brag. So I'm trying not to brag, but I'm trying to put it into context.
Yeah.
I lived in the third most expensive county in the state of, in the United States. I was 28, 29, driving a Maserati. I had everything. I had everything.
Tell it like it is.
To then go to Chicago and literally had to start over. I had to live off my savings to support our family while my wife was pursuing her career. And that really, that could be trying on the male ego when you see your partner, she's doing great things. She's living a life, doing the lawyer expected income, and here I am not making anything, not contributing anything to the household because I couldn't afford to. So when you say who helped me to build the firm, my wife. If I had not had her at that point, I would have lost even more than what I thought I did.
Shout out to the missus, man.
Absolutely.
Mrs. Smith, for real. That's dope. So, Miss Keegan, after hitting Chicago, it seemed like you made your way back to home.
Right.
What brought you back?
So I think it's very important for anyone that comes from any type of place of disadvantage. And by no means am I saying I came from a super hard upbringing. I did not. Right. But I'm still from Muskegon Heights. and that speaks for itself. I think it's important for us to cultivate the next generation of professionals, the next generation of entrepreneurs and successful individuals. They have to see individuals like me. They have to see individuals like you.
Right.
And unless they see those people in their community, tangible, can come up and talk to us, can, make ourselves accessible. I think we're doing a great dishonor, not only to self, but also to our heritage, because for us to be fortunate enough to have experienced any level of success, it is our duty to bring it back to our people, to make sure that we're now becoming the foundational form and board that they can stand on to achieve their accomplishments.
Yeah, you wrote this down, didn't you? You
I wish I did.
That was cold.
I can never repeat that again. So I will record it.
I said to you this, man. You got to put that as a book. Oh, man. So when you have arrived back home, should I say, what was it that you did to say, Muskegon, I'm here to help. This is what I do. Where am I? Where can I start? Like, what did you begin in back home? Because you've been
I think the main event that really catapulted me, my homecoming is what I'll call it, was the Black Business Expo, which is where we met. I think that that event was right on time for the atmosphere that Muskegon is currently navigating itself into. It's now becoming an atmosphere for great entrepreneurs to launch their business ideas, to exploit their talents. And the Black Business Expo was just spot on. Lachey did a great job with that program, and to set that conference up. And I was just honored to be asked to be a part of it. And that was really an opportunity that I had to really let individuals know, I'm here to help. And should you want something, some of the knowledge that I have or some of the skills that I can assist you with, I'm happy to give it for a small fee.
Of course. So can you give us the date of when you're going to be at the Black Expo this year? The symposium?
I know it's in June. I would really have to check my calendar to nail down the exact date. But the second annual is taking place again in Muskegon, and it's downtown at the new convention center. And I hope that we can have an even greater turnout this year than we did last year, because I really think a lot of jewels were dropped at the Black Business Expo last year. And I can only imagine with the lineup that I'm seeing for this year, how much further we're going to take it.
Oh, man. What's your expectations for 2022?
Man, so in 2022, expectation is to, for sure, expand the firm into a different arena of law. I think the next area for us to get expertise in is cybersecurity. That's becoming the new realm of tech. That's always going to be a big deal in cybersecurity, and legal professionals that understand data breaches. What is the federal protocol for responding to data breaches? And then you also need to know the state protocol for when data breaches occur, and being able to build in those legal safeguards. I think that's going to really be monumental for those law firms that can get on board or get ahead of the curve, especially when we're talking about new virtual worlds like the metaverse or any of these other virtual
cryptocurrencies,
realities.
Like okay. So, oh man, isn't that a far shot from what you're used to doing?
Well, not really. In its essence, it's still business law. Okay. It's still business law. It's still going to involve some type of litigation, because in our judicial system, we don't know exactly what the law is going to be until people get sued and we argue it, and then judges make a review of the arguments and give their determination. That's called case law.
Right.
And a lot of our statutes that we see, whether that's from the Constitution, state constitution, or regulatory provisions, those are the base fundamental laws. But then how they apply to each one of us as individual citizens, or how they may apply to businesses, that's governed or determined by case law. People get sued, arguments are made, judges make rulings, new laws are created.
Step by step, just like
exactly.
That. Wow. See, I'm learning something new.
Great. That's what we're here to do. We're here to teach.
This is great. So what is it that what's your favorite type of law that you'd rather do in a case? Like what would you prefer type law?
I think one of the most fulfilling types of practice that we do is I still do a lot of complex litigation. That's what I started my career in, was complex litigation. I still do a lot of it now.
What's that?
And I take on a number of race discrimination cases. So I think for where the current atmosphere of our country, we're covering a lot of ground, but we still got a lot of ground to make up. And unfortunately, individuals in high positions, Black or brown or any other ethnic group of individuals, are still being discriminated against. And a lot of companies think it's okay until we file lawsuits. And I think the more lawsuits that we're able to file against individuals that are choosing to be discriminatory, the better working environment we will eventually get. And so when you say what's my most fulfilling, I think that is the area where I feel I can do the most good for social justice change, even though I may not be one of the individuals out picketing, or I'm not very vocal on certain political aspects or political topics. That's a way that I can still make a difference and voice how I feel by helping somebody else.
Wow, man, you doing your thing, man.
Thank you.
You made a lot of people proud.
I appreciate it.
Proud. So what have your parents said to you since all this big accomplishment, like, since they were the individuals who built you up to become this type of man? You know, you gotta give the parents some credit on this one.
I definitely do. I definitely give my parents, I would say 100% credit.
Right.
You know, a lot of you may not know, but my father has since passed. So I think if he was here to see the accomplishments that I've achieved, I think he would be proud. Now, my mom, she gets to see it firsthand.
Right.
And a few weeks ago, I was able to really give my mom a thank you. And so me and my wife, we took my mom and my sister on a trip to Mexico where we covered the cost. And that was a way for me to tell Mom, you know, I will never understand all of the sacrifices you and Dad made for us, but here is at least something I can show you to let you know, thank you.
Oh man, that's dope. That's dope. That's dope. So I want to ask a question about you being in the courtroom. Have you ever been in a legal situation where you have had a big fight, like, oh, y'all yelling back and forth, you had to calm yourself down? Because you don't hear that too much, you know, in the courtroom, or they try to keep it hush hush, should I say.
So I think you know, the theatrics of Law and Order and all of the,
I gotta see if it's true or not.
yeah. I mean, honestly, Mel, that's cinematographic effect.
Okay.
It doesn't really go like that in the courtroom. Very well. Let me rephrase. In the civil realm. Because there's, you know, you've got your criminal law and then you have your civil law. Now, on the criminal end, I've seen attorneys all out yell. I've seen lawyers almost get in a fight with judges, fist fights.
In the middle of the court.
In the middle of court, yeah. That's a real thing. That can happen. And it's because they're so passionate about representing and zealously advocating for their clients' rights. And, you know, there's nothing more important in law than being able to protect your constitutional and God-given rights. And so I understand how criminal attorneys can get passionate. On the civil end, we're more, how can I say, procedural, and that's a word that we're going to have to unpack. Right. It's like, we file our motions, we wait to hear the response. We may have to argue the motion, but it's pretty mapped out. You do this happens, you do that, you respond this way. And so because we kind of already know the outcome of the case, right, based off of looking at the entire matter from like a bird's eye view, there's no real need to have a uptick in emotion unless it's just an outright misjustice. I can't say I've ever really yelled in court.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
But I have been assertive, and I have definitely stood firm.
Okay, but vocal.
Exactly.
I'm here. I hear you. Okay.
Exactly.
So in Muskegon, is there a law firm that you're going to open up here, or have you have one here already?
Yeah. So the benefit of S.A.G Law and how it's structured, because we're a virtual firm, we're pretty much everywhere that we have licensed attorneys. And so I'm a licensed attorney in Michigan. I also have several other attorneys that are licensed and located in Michigan. So yes, we do have a presence in Michigan. We represent a lot of businesses and individuals in Michigan, but we do not have a physical space. And I did that for two reasons. One is I wanted to make sure that our legal fees could still be accessible to individuals that may not be super high earners. So one way, and so that goes to point two, we're able to do that by not having the overhead costs of a brick and mortar business. So we don't have to pay rent. I don't have to pay other utilities. So we're able to keep the firm virtual, which allows us to keep our prices affordable.
Oh man, you a genius. IQ 200. God, I was wondering, like, man, every firm, has a headquarters somewhere, even a house,
Sure.
So I'm like, why does he have a? Nah, I know that's dope, man. So I thank you, man. I don't. You have been great on the show, man. Thank you for being unapologetic about everything. I respect what you have done. I can't wait to see you this summer. I can't.
Sure thing, man.
Man, because I know you're gonna bring a word that everybody gonna be like, wow, man, he came ready for this with this 2022, man. I love it, man. Ladies and gentlemen, I want y'all to give this king a round of applause. Please leave a comment, like, share, and subscribe on the show. T.D. Smith, S.A.G Law, man. The king has done so much. Manhattan, New Jersey, man. Now he back in Michigan doing his thing. All the details of the law firm will be at the bottom of the video. So make sure y'all go tap in, give him a call, or a free consultation is on the website. I have looked it over. So make sure y'all go hit them up. Please, businesses of all types, don't be hesitant, man, to get some word in, because we don't know everything and laws change every day. Isn't that right, T?
That is correct.
Just keeping it real, man. Thank you, T, for allowing this interview, man. Please don't feel like you can't call or want to come back on the show. I'll make room for you, brother, for real.
Thank you so much for having us, man. And we should go ahead and schedule our next interview now.
Oh yeah, man. We're gonna get to it, man, for sure. I gotta let you get some more accomplishment back on, keep your thing going. Congratulations on everything, Mrs. Smith. Congratulations on your king. I know she's gonna watch this. I want her to see this. But thank you, everybody, for tuning in on Unapologetic, your #1 podcast. Mr. Unapologetic, we out right here at Z.G.E Studios, y'all. Shout out to my brother, man, Adam Miles, one of the best videographers out, man. Make sure y'all go out there and tap in at Z.G.E Studios, YouTube, you name it. Thanks, D.
Thank you.